Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be slightly different to what I normally post. I post obviously about eco living, sustainable living, the tips I have, but it's also a lifestyle channel and this is actually happening in my life. So I thought I would do a video on my journey. So it's about my hair loss journey. So I have noticed, especially in the last year, that my hair is starting to fall out quite a bit. Now, obviously, it doesn't probably look like that, but it is something that is actually happening. Um, it's quite hard because for me personally, my hair is part of my femininity, and the thought of it falling out in clumps makes me I don't want it and I want to do something about it. So I guess the point of this video is to also highlight the importance of seeking medical advice. Now, there are loads of influencers out there who talk about hair loss and what they do and advice that they give and treatments that they follow and things like that. But the point I'm trying to make is that I didn't want to kind of jump on the bandwagon just because somebody else has got hair loss and it sounds similar to what I have. I didn't want to just start using what they suggested because I have no idea if it's going to help me, because I don't know what my actual problem is. So, and the thing is that it could actually make things worse, which is what I did not want. So I thought the best thing to do is go and seek medical advice to find out what my problem is. And it turns out there could be a number of reasons why you have hair loss. So, for example, I have heavy periods, so maybe I have an iron deficiency. It could be apparently lack of vitamin D, could be a reason for hair loss. Again, this is all assumptions, I don't know. So what I wanted to do is go and speak to a medical professional and for them to tell me, yeah, this is what your particular problem is, and this is what I would suggest to either stop it or slow it down. I don't know what my hair loss issue is. So I don't know whether it can be stopped. I don't know whether it can be slowed down. But I need somebody who is a professional who has looked at my head and looked at my scalp. Presumably, I'm going to need blood tests as well. So what I've done is I've made an appointment with a trichologist. And what they will do, I'm hoping they will do, they will look at my scalp. We'll probably go through loads of questions. They'll look at my scalp, and hopefully they'll be able to tell me what my hair loss issue is. Now, I've also got an appointment to get some blood tests done. Now, the reason I wanted to go to a trichologist first is because then they could give me some advice of what sort of blood tests I need to have in order to determine what's going on inside. Now I'm 45 years old. I do feel tired quite a lot. Like I said, I have heavy periods. Maybe I have an iron deficiency. I don't take vitamin D. In the UK, we don't have a lot of sun, so I think we should be taking vitamin D, I assume. I don't know, but obviously these are all questions that I'm going to ask a professional. To be honest, I don't know how long this vlog is going to be. At the moment, I'm sort of planning on stitching all the videos together of my journey. So it would be sort of like one video, because I do, obviously it's sustainable living, eco living, my channel is dedicated to. But because this is lifestyle and this is what's happening to me, I don't know whether this will end up being multiple videos or just probably one whole video stitched in. Obviously, I'll put dates at the bottom so you can follow the journey yourself. I'm quite nervous about documenting my journey because this is hair loss. And I know there are other people who are really brave at talking and being completely honest about hair loss. This is something that I haven't really talked about online anywhere before. So I don't know how this journey is going to pan out. I'm a little bit I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit nervous about what the trichologist is going to say, to be honest. Um, I think my worst fear would be that they say, well, there's nothing you can do about it. And I think that's gonna be the hardest. Um, but it's not about it's about finding the answer, about finding what my actual problem is, and which is why I'm going to a medical professional first, and see what they recommend and things like that. So this has been happening. My hair's been falling out for probably about a year now, um, and I do have a little bit of anxiety now. Obviously, anxiety isn't going to help my hair loss because worrying about it will probably make it worse. The only thing that's worked for me to keep the anxiety at bay is that I'm doing something about it. I'm not sort of sitting in my bed crying my eyes out. I'm actually doing something about it. So I'll take you along with my journey. If you've got any questions, obviously pop them below. I'm not an influencer. I'm not going to tell you this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. I'm not medically trained for this, but I just want to talk to you about my own journey, because if there is somebody out there who is having a hair loss issue and they're scared, and it is scary, of course it is. Hopefully this encourages you to seek medical advice. Now, the trichologist that I'm going to see, that's not through the NHS. I've actually paid for a consultation privately. So, yeah, I guess when I have my appointment, I will let you know what she said, and what the recommendations are, and I'll obviously tell you what she said my condition is, if there is a name for it. I assume there is. I don't know. Again, making assumptions, and see what she says. And yeah, hopefully this encourages people who are experiencing similar things to go and seek medical advice first, and then yeah, come along with me on my journey and see how I get on. Hi everyone, and welcome back. So I've gone to see a trichologist. I went yesterday, and I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of what we discussed and how the consultation went. So I was in there for about an hour and a half, and we talked about what my concerns were. The fact that I've got my hair is thinning in certain places, and it seems to be shedding a lot more than usual. So we went through a load of things. She asked me a load of health questions and stuff like that. So first thing she did was look at my scalp, and she used this little microscope thing, and it was attached to her phone. So as she moved the camera, you could see it on the phone. And she asked me if I wanted to see it, or if I find stuff like that quite freaky. And I was like, nope, that's fine. Let's have a look. So she showed me what she would see, and yeah, the scalp looked healthy and everything like that. It was very weird seeing my scalp that close. But it was quite interesting. She said the scalp looks healthy. She noticed like fine hair, so obviously new hair growing, but there was quite a lot of fine hair as well. So we had a bit more of a conversation, and then she said, what you have is a condition called androgenetic alopecia. And that is what my problem is with my hair. So I'd heard the term before because I had I heard it online, but I didn't know what my actual problem was. So she has actually said, this is what your problem is. So the andro part is an enzyme that I think it's called DHT. I don't know what the long version is, but I do know the short version is called DHT. And it's the DHT, I think, if I remember rightly, that attacks the hair follicles. Genetic means it's genetic. My mum's got it. My grandmother had it down my maternal side. So the fact that it's genetic doesn't surprise me. And alopecia, obviously, hair loss. Now, I have had alopecia before. It was 2 times I've had it. So it's where sort of like a hair in sort of the size of an area the size of like a 2 pence coin. I had one at the back of my head and one at the side. And she asked me when did I have those. So the first one at the back of my head was like years ago. I think we're talking probably about 17 years ago, and that was when I was going through my divorce, a very stressful time. The second time it happened was on the side here. That's when I was moving house. So obviously it happens for me. It happens when I'm going through something that's incredibly stressful. The hair has grown back since then. So that condition, she said, is called alopecia areata. And sometimes for some people, you can have a little like an area hair missing and it'll grow back. Sometimes you can get another patch, and then they sort of like merge and stuff like that. But that hasn't happened with me. But at least I know what that was as well, because I never knew. I just kind of got on with it. So with what she said is the fact that I'm quite young and I've obviously got a lot of hair. The fact that I'm doing something about it now is really good, because once the hair follicle dies, there's nothing you can do about it. Once it's gone, it's gone. So obviously we don't want to get to that point. So what she suggested is using something called Minoxidil. So there's 2% in this 5%, and she suggested for me to use the 5%. So she has recommended this, which has 5% Minoxidil in it. And she said, I suggest you start using that, straight away. Now, I'd heard about Minoxidil, and I know it's a lifetime commitment. Once you start using it, you've got to carry on using it. So, and I think that is the sort of thing, it kind of put me off at first, because I thought, it's a lifetime commitment. How am I going to commit to this for the rest of my life? Now, obviously, as I age, I don't know if I'm going to get any other health problems, and there may be a time where, depending on what health condition I develop, if I do, Minoxidil doesn't work with it. It doesn't, I probably need to give that up. Maybe when I'm in my 70s, if I reach my 70s, maybe I won't care that my hair is thinning or is going. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But at the moment, if that's what I need to do, that's what I need to do. And that's cool. I did ask her about oral Minoxidil or topical Minoxidil. So oral is obviously taking tablets, and topical is just putting the Minoxidil on the area that you want to focus on. I'm not a massive fan of popping pills. It's a personal preference, so I'm definitely going to go with the topical one. She said to make sure you use the Minoxidil once a day, use it around about the same time every day. So for me, I'll just have to make sure I pick a time that works for me that I can do. It's kind of like taking a pill. You need to take the pill roughly around about the same time every day for it to work. So it's kind of like that. But you need to make sure you do it every day. So the foam, put some on your hands and then run it along your scalp. and then just mix it, just make sure it's on the scalp. And she said to focus on the temples, this area, especially this area here. Obviously the sides is where I'm going to focus on. So this it says 1 month supply. I mean, it says for best results, use twice daily, apply directly to scalp. Now, I'm not going to use it. You know, she said to me to use it once a day. I'll use it once a day. That's not a problem. One of the other things that I asked her about was something that I've seen online, which is dermarolling. So I don't know if you haven't heard of it, but dermarolling is like a little roller, and you basically run it along your scalp. And I think the idea is that it causes very, very, very tiny injuries to your scalp, and the blood flows to that area to obviously, to heal that part of the scalp. I do dermaroll, and asked her, is it okay to continue doing that? And she said, yeah, she couldn't see an issue why there would be problems why I couldn't do it. So I will continue dermarolling. I dermaroll only once a week. The one that I use is 0.5 millimeter, 0.5 millimeter. And I asked her if that's okay. She goes, yeah, that sounds fine. That's not a problem. So I will be doing that. One of the things I asked her that I'd learned from online, but I wanted to obviously check with her, was the shedding phase when it comes to minoxidil. So some people have said that when they start using minoxidil, there's a lot more shedding. I think in the first month or something like that of using it. I asked her if that was true, and she said yes. You will have. So it's the hair follicles that are sort of close to falling out, our chances are they're going to shed probably a little bit earlier than they would normally in the cycle. But she said I think it's after a couple of weeks, or is it after a month or something like that, it settles down. That's fine. At least I know that's could potentially happen. I don't think it happened. I get the impression it doesn't happen with everybody. For some people it does, some people it doesn't. Everyone's different. So I'm going to prepare myself for the hair shedding and then see what happens. The other thing that we talked about was blood tests. Now, I'm waiting for a doctor to give me a call regarding getting some bloods taken. Because I've said I have heavy periods, I probably have an iron deficiency, but I need a doctor to be able to tell me that. We don't get a lot of sun this part of the world, so maybe there's a vitamin D deficiency. So she actually gave me a list of some things that I should speak to the doctor about, and then obviously take the doctor's advice as to what bloods I need to take or not, or have taken. So again, we've got vitamin B12, and a serum ferritin, vitamin D, folic acid, a thyroid function. She's also mentioned here. One of the things she said is really important, especially to determine the hair loss thing, is something called, I'm not going to know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, serum total testosterone level. And I think my understanding is it's a testosterone level that attacks the hair follicles. So I think for women, I think for men and women, you have a certain in between a certain level, and that's whatever's in that would be classed as normal. But it would be interesting to know where I am on that scale for a woman. So I will get that done as well. Obviously, I'm going to go with what the doctor recommends. The doctor says, yes, you need this, and that's fine. So I think I'm waiting for a call. I think it's 7th of October. I think I have to check my calendar. So I'll wait for a call, and then I'll speak to the doctor, and then hopefully I can get blood tests done. She did say that she'd be happy to look at my blood test for free. She's not going to charge me extra for that. she wants to make sure that, you know, my body is functioning, you know, the way it should be functioning, and everything's at the level it should be for me to actually get my hair back on track, and probably maybe my health as well. I mean, I'm not an ill person, but you know, if my iron levels aren't quite right, or you know, my vitamin D levels aren't quite right, obviously we need to make sure they're at the levels that they should be. And if need be, I'll just take whatever supplements I need to. I'm not a massive fan of taking the pill or taking a pill, but for vitamins, yeah, I'm happy to do it. I already take marine collagen anyway, and I've been taking that for about 3 months now. I must admit, me personally, I do notice a difference with marine collagen. It took about 2 months for me to notice a difference. Um, and then obviously I've got to take that every day and stuff like that. So although I'm not a fan of taking something every day, you know what, if this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do. Obviously I might actually look at my diet as well to see where I can adapt my diet to incorporate some of these vitamins and minerals. So maybe I can get away with not taking a pill, but that's just a personal choice. You know, you guys just do what you need to do. So yeah, that's how it went. And I'll tell you what, I'm really, really glad that I went to see a professional, somebody who knows what they're talking about, and they've diagnosed me with what the issue I'm having personally. So I haven't kind of like jumped on the bandwagon and seen what other people are talking about on social media. I've actually gone to somebody, and I'll tell you what, I felt so much better. I felt really relieved when I came back from the appointment, because I know what my problem is now. And, you know, I've got a plan of action. So I'm going to start with the Minoxidil. I'll carry on doing the Dermarolling once a week. I won't do it any more than once a week. I don't think you're supposed to. Otherwise, you can cause like infections. And I really, really don't need that kind of headache. And then, yeah, I'll just wait for my bloods to come back. And once I have the results for my bloods, obviously, I will let you know what they say. But yeah, I'm going to start using the Minoxidil once a day, see how I get on with it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'll see you in the next video.